Round 4 of a scheduled 10-round bout in this featured heavyweight match between Tony Tubbs and Gilbert Martínez. Joe Fonzi with Dwight Clark and veteran matchmaker Jeff Ruff, as Martínez goes on the aggressive side here and punching from behind as Tubbs just kind of got on the ropes and laid there.
You know, and I'm surprised Tony's still standing up in the corner. And Dwight, you having been on the bench in many football games, didn't a lot of the older defensive linemen and stuff, didn't they even say, we'll take a sit down and sit next to the old the water cooler?
Absolutely. When they were worn out.
Was their time?
Yeah.
And Tony, this fight's not going to get any easier, because if he thinks Gilbert's going to get tired, he's wrong. I've seen Gilbert in all of his last 5 bouts here since his comeback, and it's just he's a wind-up doll coming forward the whole time and brawling. And Tony's just in the corner standing up and having a little drink of water and thinking, well, I'll just try and keep this up. But I would really sit down if I was him and kick my legs out, take a big deep breath.
Left landed by TNT.
There's the lead right I'd like to see, more of an uppercut right, but if he just starts throwing that straight lead right, I think Gilbert would walk right into it. And Tony not a devastating puncher, because he's only got 22 KOs, I believe, in his 40 wins. And a lot of those were early in his career when Mr. Don King was building him up as the next Muhammad Ali back in the early 80s, having come from Cincinnati, Ohio, right across the street from Louisville, Kentucky.
But Jeff, you're certainly right that Gilbert he just knows one speed. It's pretty much straight ahead, and he hasn't done much different here in round 4 than he did in round 1.
No, you won't see any head movement. You won't see any bobbing and weaving. You might see a paw of a right jab and then that straight left every time. And it seems to be finding a home. Our referee Marty Salmon is retrieving a mouthpiece that I believe was Mr. Tubbs's. So they get a little rinse off there, and usually that's a sign that the fighter's got his mouth open and breathing a little heavy. Maybe we'll see Tony sit down next round.
Time resumed as we approach the 2-minute mark here in round 4. And Martínez just continues to come forward toward Tubbs, and Tubbs really unable to hold him off.
I'm starting to wonder Tony's training for this fight, which he knew about a month ago. I know he's been holding the punch mitts down in Louisiana and working with other fighters and stuff, but maybe he should have been having somebody hold the punch mitts for him a few rounds and maybe get a little more, because he just looks a little slow and weary to me.
10 seconds left in round 4. A fight that we'd have to say at this point has been dominated by Gilbert Martínez as he lands a left against the ropes as round 4 comes to a close. Round 5 at the Palace Indian Gaming Center, Tony Tubbs against Gilbert Martínez in a heavyweight bout.
There's the lead right hand I've been waiting for. I think somebody finally told it to him. Remember that punch, Tony, from way back?
Well, he landed it on the midsection of Martínez, and I watched Tubbs the entire time, as you said, Jeff, during the between rounds. He didn't sit on a stool. He just put his big old arms across the ropes and laid there.
Well, you know, when George Foreman started his comeback years ago, at this age right here, he had a special stool made for him. It was actually about 3 feet high, so it didn't take so much work to stand up from a squat to get off it. And maybe Tony might want to get the woodshop teacher back home to design one of those for him, because Gilbert's really working that midsection.
Martínez working him against the ropes here, and Tubbs can't do anything to get off of them. They landed a right to his head that time. And now Tubbs comes off the ropes for the flurry of punches.
There's an old veteran move. Hold his hand underneath your armpit and give him a little right hand to the head.
But Martínez, still at his usual steady speed, just comes right in for more action.
Well, Dwight, my analogy earlier of Jeremy Newberry trying to guard you in a post pattern starting to look like linebacker Ray Lewis pitting a quarterback against the goalpost somewhere and really working him over.
Yeah.
Well, that was Ken Norton's move, wasn't it? Working the goalposts over. Ken Norton Jr.
That's right.
And the St. Louis Rams never forgot that. Coming up on the 2-minute mark of round 5, a round in which we've seen really more punches thrown, I think, than any previous round in this fight.
Yeah, I'm just surprised at Tony Tubbs. He knew this guy's style. I'm just surprised he hasn't used the ring more. If you saw the tape of Jeremy Williams, there's a good hook right there that's got Martínez hurt. But he's got an iron chin.
Martínez lunging there after ending up in the ropes, and now Tubbs can smell it.
Little forearm shiver there by Tony Tubbs kept him at bay.
I think Tubbs has just been hanging around hoping for his moment. And he may feel like it's right now.
Straight right hand and a left hook. He's starting to land combinations now off the ropes.
10 seconds left in round 5. As Tubbs saving up for all he had here at the tail end of round 5. We'll go to round 6. As we start round 6 of this featured heavyweight fight between Tony Tubbs and Gilbert Martínez, I'd have to say, guys, the first round that we've seen scored for Tubbs, and we saw Tubbs between rounds there actually take a seat and rest on the stool.
That's right. I think after that little flurry he threw, he decided to take a little seat here now. We're going into the later rounds. He's going to see what this kid of 36 has got. And I'm glad to see him sit down, really give him a little breath. And he landed some beautiful shots. There's some great right uppercut, overhand right, left hook. And here comes Gilbert still.
Straight ahead, still straight ahead, not changing his style at all.
Those legs are getting weary on TNT.
I'm glad to see there's been no cuts or contusions of any sort, because having worked Gilbert's corner the last fight against Jeremy Williams as a cut man, I had my hands full from round 1 on. He was bleeding from everything that opened and closed from everything that was open. It was a mess. He's holding up really good in this fight, and I'm glad to see that. I hate to see fights stop because of cuts or major contusions.
Well, and both fighters have seemed to want to go for body shots in this fight so far. They haven't landed much on the head.
Oh, there's a big left.
There's a great left hook there, straight left by Gilbert Martínez that knocked the mouthpiece of Tony out. Referee waits for a lull in the action, which I didn't really think there was one there, but it was close enough for him. They're going to get a little rinse off here. And a return to action.
So Marty Salmon stopping things, and for the second time in this fight, Tubbs gets a little breather when he loses his mouthpiece. Gilbert Martínez, just a bulldog, isn't he? He just keeps coming at you.
Yes, he is.
His training regiment must be awesome. Carry all that weight around.
Well, he's been sparring in Sacramento with his coach, Nasser Niavarone, who's also his trainer, manager. He's been sparring with the likes of Michael Sims, who was the 2000 Olympic alternate at 180 pounds and was cut off the team. Michael Sims is 10-0 and a big, tall, strong cruiserweight. He's also been sparring with Eric Reagan, a 22-0 middleweight, who's 6'5" for this fight. He's had plenty of work.
But watching both these two fighters, if it's an eventual title fight that they want, I don't see them standing up very well at this point against the real elite heavyweights that are out there right now.
This is a senior division fight here.
Yeah.
And they're showing it.
10 seconds to go here in round 6. Round 7 at the Palace Indian Gaming Center of this featured heavyweight fight between Gilbert Martínez and Tony Tubbs. Joe Fonzi with Dwight Clark and veteran matchmaker Jeff Ruff. And again, Jeff, Gilbert comes out just charging ahead like a bulldog for round 7.
Came running out with a right hook. hoping to keep Tony's hands down there. And I mean, most guys come out with a straight jab, but Martínez just doesn't throw a jab. He comes out with either a right hook or a straight left. And gets his head on his chest and just starts winging. There's the right hook again.
And whereas Tubbs seems like, really since the beginning of the fight, he's been a bit winded, Gilbert only has one speed anyway, and it's tough to get winded when you just have that slow, steady speed that he has.
Well, I don't think that Tony has a chance to win this fight off counter-punching off the ropes now, especially as the rounds get longer here. Because as the fight goes on, he's getting slower and slower, more tired with his mouth open. And to be standing back on the ropes and leaning on the ropes all night long, hoping to hit somebody with a lucky counter shot, his chances are getting slimmer and slimmer, especially with the pressure Gilbert's been putting on. And there's no way to win a fight laying on the ropes.
Well, and we're certainly not official scorers by any means, but you know, we have it's about 5-1 in favor of Martínez at this point. Tubbs had the one solid round, I believe, back in the 5th when he threw some punches and got that right going, but that's been about it for him so far.
And Tubbs has come back with a couple good counter punches right here, but he's got to get room. He's got to get Martínez off him by a couple of feet so he can have room to punch, and he's not doing that by laying on the ropes. He's got to get some angles in there and get a little room to get a little leverage on a punch, because Martínez leaves himself wide open when he does come leading in with punches. There he leaned back and got a good angle and then throw the lead right.
Tubbs' corner trying to have him go to work, as they said. But as you said, hard to get any separation from Martínez, who continues to just plow straight ahead.
No, there was a left hook that missed by inches there by Mr. Tubbs that would have connected, probably would have done some damage. There's another one that did catch him a bit, but Gilbert Martínez has got a chunk of granite for a chin there, and he's not swayed by anything.
Roughly 20 seconds left to go here in round 7 of a scheduled 10-rounder in this featured heavyweight fight. And round 7, roughly more of the same for these two